Being a superhero is a trial by fire. Who's gonna protect the world if not people like you?
En ny Marvel-helt går til skærmen i denne uge. Nemlig She-Hulk, hvis borgerlige navn er
Jennifer Walters, attorney at law.
Jen, this is your life now.
Og som man kan høre på navnet og se på hudfarven, så er She-Hulk i familie med den originale Hulk.
Wow! Jesus, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Jen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely.
Jennifer Walters og Bruce Banner er nemlig fætter og kusine, og efter et voldsomt uheld får Jennifer lidt af sin fætters superblod i årene, og pludselig er hun også en superhelt.
Oh. Bruce, kind of feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die.
Yes, yes, yes! No, no!
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer.
En superhelt, der nu skal jonglere tilværelsen som She-Hulk med jobbet som ambitiøs advokat. Det er selvfølgelig en svær balancekunst, men både She-Hulk og serien håndterer opgaven med bravur. Vi har set sæsonens 4 første afsnit, og She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, er et mægtigt mix af retssalsintriger og klassisk Marvel-action, som fornemt integrerer både karakterdrevet drama og kulørt komik.
All rise.
Change back now! Emil!
Alright, calm down.
Og vi har talt med de to kvinder, som er hovedansvarlige for seriens velfungerende genreblanding. Nemlig instruktøren Kat Coiro og manuskriptforfatteren Jessica Gao. Og så har vi også talt med skuespilleren Ginger Gonzaga, som spiller Walters bedste veninde, Nikki Ramos.
Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit. I'm not proud of this.
Og det er let at forstå, hvorfor den nyeste Marvel-serie tæsker lattermusklerne, når man skimmer de 3 kvinders CV'er. Coiro har instrueret afsnit af kæmpe komedieserier som Modern Family,
I lost my virginity in this car.
What's that now?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia og Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Jake stinks, but I can play. Yes, but you have a rather unfortunate tell. Your right breast.
Oh no, my cards are terrible.
Sure they are.
Damn it, Eugene, you sold me out.
Gonzaga har lavet en masse stand-up, og hun er nok bedst kendt for sin rolle i den mere melankolske komedieserie Kidding med Jim Carrey. Og Jessica Gao vandt fuldt fortjent en Emmy for sit mægtige manus til Rick and Morty-afsnittet Pickle Rick, hvor Rick forvandler sig til, ja, en pickle.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal, I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle!
Of course, you won the Emmy for writing this amazing episode, Pickle Rick, of course, in which Rick turns himself into a badass green-tinted creature, which I guess proved invaluable, those experiences when now doing a whole show about someone turning into a badass green-tinted creature.
Well, look, green works for me, so I guess for my next project, I'm gonna have to find another green character.
Yeah, Yoda versus...
versus Kermit the Frog.
Exactly. That would be perfect. But I mean, obviously, those two shows are radically different, but I feel that they both walk on that tightrope between having really great humorous moments, and certainly also having more dramatic beats with the characters and character development. And I couldn't help but wonder, is that a difficult balancing act to walk as a storyteller?
It's tricky, but I wouldn't say it was difficult because the beauty of blending this particular show together is that my favorite type of comedy is taking very kind of high concept things, you know, like a superhero that constantly has to save the universe, but then grounding it in the minutia of everyday life. Like, that is always the funniest thing to me, is like watching an Avenger on a Tuesday having to go do laundry, you know?
Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
At the end of the day, they're still people. They still have to live normal lives like the rest of us. You know, it's like when you see in paparazzi magazines, celebrities, they're just like us. It's like, well, yeah, they still have to eat and drink, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I really appreciated of the show. Also, with me also being in my 30s, having a hero in her 30s, being a working class hero, dealing with the intricacies and dilemmas of everyday life, you know, as opposed to, you know, Norse gods or billionaire philanthropists. It's much more relatable in that way. Was that also part of the attraction for you in telling this story?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because so many of these kind of jokes and things that we kind of poke fun at about the trope and about the MCU are just real things that, you know, we, the writers, have like said to our friends, you know, like joke to our friends about when we watch the movies and things like that.
You could be an Avenger. Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason.
Like, I think it's in the second episode when she talks about, you know, well, you know, do the Avengers have healthcare? Like, that's a question nobody ever answers for me in the MCU. And like, because, you know, if you really put a real person in that situation, these are questions we have to answer, you know, because we're Americans, so we have to always constantly worry about where we're going to get healthcare from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're very glad that we don't have to deal with that here in Denmark.
Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency.
It's my favorite type of thing to do ever. As an actor, when I'm creating things, like I always want to ride that line of, you know, comedy and drama, and I like, you know, making people sad and then rescuing them with humor, or making people laugh and being like, actually, we need to talk about something serious really quickly, and sneaking it in. You know, honestly, the comic books have that DNA. The comic books are funny, they're allegorical, they're always saying something, all the Marvel comics. You know, but Jessica knows how to interpret that for now, and then it's about the actors, you know, knowing how to ride that line and kind of making sure that we're honest in what we're doing. Whenever you're honest, you get the serious out, and also you get the funny out, because humans are funny, you know? Like, it's funny when you're, like, it's embarrassing being a human being. Oh my goodness. But I love a comedy that's looking at kind of like minutia and the simpleness of like being a person. It's just funny.
I think the biggest challenge going in was, how do we make something that honors the humor of the scripts but still fits into the more serious world of the MCU? And it was always a tightrope act, you know, between making sure we allowed the actors freedom to improvise and play around, but also gave it scope and cinematic grandeur. You know, I come from a background, I've done a lot of comedy, I've also done drama, I've done romantic comedy, and this was kind of my chance to put all those things into a blender and play.
Cool. And speaking of comedy and actors, one of the things I was really impressed by was how you managed to take some of these actors who we already know and love for their characters in the Marvel Universe, you know, Tim Roth and Mark Ruffalo and Benedict Wong, and make these characters seem, you know, exactly how we know them, but also much more humorous than we've ever seen them before. I don't think I've ever seen Tim Roth be this funny before. He really gets to strut his, you know, humorous muscles.
Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh.
Was that also one of the attractions for you, to be able to take some of these actors to different avenues than we've seen them before?
Absolutely, and I think it was really fun for them. All of the existing MCU characters who came onto the show
Call my lawyer.
had this adjustment period where they realized they were basically the same characters in a different genre. And I always like to say that life is not one genre. We have comedic days and we have horror days. We have, you know, dramatic weeks and we have tragic months. And so it really is not difficult with those actors, because they have such humanity and such vulnerability, and they are so skilled. But it was about letting them take these characters and kind of say, yeah, you can play, you can do whatever you like. And that was really, you know, my job there, is less guiding them in comedy and more allowing them a space to play and have fun.
That's truly one of my favorite things about this show, is like taking these characters that everyone knows in a certain capacity, in a very dramatic capacity.
You cannot control everything, Strange.
And then letting them come play in our show and in the tone of our show, you know?
No judge is going to take this seriously unless we do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the Book of American laws.
The actors also get to kind of flex a different muscle too, you know? They get to like explore a different side of their character and really like have fun with their character. It's like taking a break from the drama, because you can't, even the most serious person can't be serious all the time, you know? And so we're just kind of catching these characters on the one day that they get to have fun.
These transformations are triggered by distressed emotional states, so we need to know the exact threshold that causes it for you. The triggers are anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
All right, then, let's try this.
Another thing I thought so interesting about is how the series also deals with sort of the difference in terms of acceptance of male and female rage, and how women are often expected to suppress some of their emotions. And here you have a character who, in a very direct, expressive, and interesting way, has to deal with that societal dichotomy in a way.
Absolutely. It was one of the main conversations of the series is, what is acceptable female behavior versus acceptable male behavior when it comes to rage? Because we've all seen male superheroes destroy entire cities, in the name of doing good. And then how far can a woman go and get away with it, no matter what her intentions are? And that's definitely something we explore as the series progresses.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend.
I mean, is that a bit evil, to come second on the friendship barometer to spandex?
Listen, according to the Hulk, I'm number 2. But listen, I am not number 2 to spandex any day, though I do highly endorse spandex, is what I will say.
Back to what I was saying before, my theory.
Oh, God.
Steve Rogers did not have a girlfriend before he went into the service.
Says who?
The History Channel. So he becomes Captain America, and from that moment on, a symbol of America, he is rushed to the front lines, he becomes a war hero, then he is frozen in ice.
Right.
So, based on everything you've told me, after he gets unfrozen, he goes from world-threatening disaster to world-threatening disaster. That's when he's not a fugitive from the law, right? So it seems like he was pretty busy.
All you're doing is repeating everything that I've already told you about my friend and colleague.
Obviously, Captain America was a virgin.
Look out!
I promise I won't tell any of my viewers the answer to this question, but I love that you ask probably the biggest open question of the MCU, which is Steve Rogers in fact still a virgin? And I love the way that you also answered, but is that something you as a writer had to, particularly fought for, I want to be the one who actually answers this question and gets out the truth?
Was that your first kiss since 1945?
That bad, huh?
I didn't say that.
Well, it kind of sounds like that's what you're saying.
No, I didn't. I just wondered how much practice you've had.
You don't need practice.
Everybody needs practice.
It was not my first kiss since 1945. I'm 95. I'm not dead.
There used to actually be so much more of it in the script where we wondered so much about it as writers that we put it in so many more episodes than we had to pull back from it. But that was a long running joke that she was obsessed with finding the answer to whether or not he was a virgin because, like us, she was like, he's so hot. It would be such a waste if he left this earth having never enjoyed sex.
Yeah, I mean, I just interviewed Chris actually just a couple of weeks ago, and I still, you can't help but have a huge man crush on the guy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Case closed.
This is Johan Albrechtsen from Moovy DK in Denmark.
Hello, I love Denmark.
You do? You love Denmark. Have you been here?
I've been to Copenhagen. I won't take up too much of your time, but I love Copenhagen.
Hi, Ginger.
Hi, I love your background. Was it CDs or books?
It is movies.
It
is Blu-rays and DVDs, about a couple of thousand of them.
That's amazing. It looks great. I love your vintage vibe. It's great.
Thank you very much.